It's all right. You're just worried I'm quicker than you.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Critics Collective. I am Legacy Lingo, and I have Mayte here with us and Corey. And we are going to discuss F1, the movie, which just recently dropped in theaters. And I'm excited to talk about this. I'm excited to actually be a part of a review with you guys because y'all been leaving me behind watching all this content, you know, stuff that's just gory. And finally, I got something I can watch eyes wide open. I have to be cover my eyes and fully enjoy this movie. All right. So before we get into that, though, if you guys like what we're doing, you want to support this channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the alerts, and like this video. Join the collective community. The synopsis is: a Formula One driver comes out of retirement to mentor and team up with the younger driver. So that's pretty good. All right, we'll run with that one. We'll run with that one. There's a little bit more layers to that, but you know, shout out to IMDb. You know. All right, so Corey, I'm going to start with you. So tell me how you felt about this movie.
Well, I'm a fan of racing movies, so I was definitely excited to see this one. But just like I'm gonna start with my lows. My lows were just the length of the movie. I just felt like it dragged in some parts. Like it's just like, okay, we get it. Let's move the story along. Um, my highs definitely like the racing parts. Like it's just like I feel like there was like only so much they can do with like the racing movie, the racing like you do the fast shifts, camera
Right.
angle change, making it look dope. But I feel like the way I guess they had those those big rooms with the screen on the side probably had one of those. So it's like made it look like when you go from the front of the car and you pan to the driver, that was really dope. So I feel like they did it a little more. It took a fresher take on driving the driving scenes. Um, but yeah, it's just I think that's my high and my low. Would I watch it again? Yes, for sure.
Oh, all right.
I feel like it definitely deserved to be an IMAX movie though. Um, you feel like you feel more like I guess dived into the movie and what was going on. Like
Immersed.
yeah, immersed. And like, cause literally it was parts that were like the mostly the driving scenes. Like I would like notice my hand was shaking a little bit because I'm just like I was on the edge of my seat throwing these scenes. I was like, oh shit, I'm really feeling this. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Okay, so before I get my take on that, let me ask you, how much experience or knowledge did you have of Formula One before this? Did you know anything about it? Any kind of passion or interest?
I mean, when you're a kid, like you have an interest in it and you watch it on TV. But as I got older, I just kind of veered away from it. So at this point in my life, I have like no knowledge of how the politics of all that goes.
Right.
For the most part, I enjoyed it for what it was. It wasn't just racing. It really got into like
I think that's what I was trying
everything
to
about
ask.
it.
Did
Yeah.
you
So
appreciate that it wasn't
I
just a racing movie?
yeah, it gave it an extra push. Like it made you, it pulled you into the movie, making them. It made you want them to succeed at
Mm,
the end.
right. Right.
Um. So yeah, I think that was a good element to add to it. Yeah.
That's what's up. Mate, tell me how you feel about this movie.
I thought it was very exhilarating. Now, me, I had the only thing I knew about Formula One or F1 was that it's racing, it's very high speed, and that it's something that a lot of it's popular. It's something that people like. I just didn't really know too much about it. I just knew it was cars and racing. Now I kind of see the hype. So this movie kind of brought a little light to me on this, Formula One. Maybe I might
Okay.
want to see a race one day.
Oh,
um about like first my highs and lows.
all
I
right.
thought it was very exhilarating. I agree with Corey. Like I was on the edge of my seat. Like for me, fast is like 90 miles an hour. And when they were going like 200, I was like, okay, that. And seeing how fast, like I even with video games, like it's fast, but like seeing that it's like a real life, people do this for a career. So they're just, and I'm like, just the thinking, everything, and it is dangerous. So
Mhm.
seeing you know, their ups and downs through their career going through the races, and it shows that it's not just getting in a car and just driving fast. There's so much
Right.
that goes into it. So I really did like that, because for me, I didn't really know too much, and it gave a different perspective. I didn't even know that they build their cars. I just thought it was like, I knew there were different, like Ferrari. I didn't know there was so many different brand, like car companies. Like, again, I don't know too much.
Right.
But I didn't know that they were like kind of, it seemed like customizing their cars to like for speed, and I didn't know that was part of it.
Right.
But that was very interesting. I really did enjoy it. To me, it didn't feel long. I think I might have been a little late, might have missed a little bit. Maybe that's why I didn't feel too long, but it was 2 hours and 35 minutes. But to me, so I just saw another movie that was another 2 hours, and that felt just as long. So for me, I didn't feel like it was 2 hours and 35. It felt like 2 hours for me.
Okay.
But I enjoyed it. I don't really see now. I have one low,
Okay.
but I don't really know if I don't know if it's a spoiler or any. I don't really. It's something that I've also saw online too, and then seeing it in the movie, I was like, okay, I see what they meant about that. There were certain scenes that they were saying that were cut out significantly,
Right.
like storylines, and I did see parts of the movie where I could have seen those storylines where they could have fit, or where they probably were and were taken out. Just me personally, I feel like I noticed that, but that's just me noticing. I don't think anybody else probably would notice that unless you're trying to pay attention to it.
Right.
Which I wasn't trying to, but I just saw it was just very short moments. It was like a cut, like little montages and cuts where I'm like, okay, I feel like there was a little bit more to this. It was just certain scenes held a little bit more weight with no context, and just with it was just two characters. But I don't want to spoil anything either. But I'll tell you guys about it later on.
We can talk about it after.
That was just my low. Everything else was the high for me. I didn't really have anything else other than that to complain about.
Okay. All right. So I this is surprising to me. I actually thought that we were all going to say a lot of the same things. So I was just going to kind of let you guys have it, ask a few questions, and then close it out. But now you viewers are stuck with me giving my opinion. So I'll start with my lows. I only have one actual low. The low for me was the scene when everybody started chanting in the war room. That I was like, you guys ruined such a great speech. That shit pissed me off. Okay, I was like, don't do it. I was hoping that they would leave that guy hanging. Okay, I was hoping they would leave him hanging, and then realize like, yeah, this is not cool. This is not the moment. But then everybody got involved, and I was just like, you guys just totally ruined a great speech. That was a huge low for me. I was like seriously looking around like, is anybody else seeing this? Other than that, I didn't have any lows. I actually really, really enjoyed this movie. I thought the edits that they made were necessary because I didn't feel like there was dry. I felt like all of the scenes were purposeful. They were leading up to something. And I'm glad that they didn't leave in the other stuff that could have totally made it a little longer or strayed from. I felt like every scene was purposeful. I loved the way that everything that they dropped came back full circle as far as the writing. I thought it was super tight. I mean, they came back to everything. And then I loved how, no spoilers, but in my opinion, the way they set things up, I felt like I got to have my cake and eat it too, because there's really only one person that can truly win in this situation. But the way that they wrote it, I felt like I was able to get more out of it. I felt like there were multiple winners in this situation. I felt like I was able to have my cake and eat it too. So I was really appreciative. And also, I'm like a second, maybe a third tier fanboy, because I've never really been into Formula One racing. I've always known about it, but several years ago, I started watching the Netflix documentary series Formula One: Drive to Survive. I was watching that just out of curiosity because I am one of those people that love to know the behind the scenes, the politics, everything that goes into it, the money, the choices. So watching stuff like that, I always get into it. And that's the only reason I really watched it, just to kind of really see how the mechanics work and how much money is being put into it. And I became a fanboy, but not like on the level where I'm going all around the world to go to these races and stuff. No. What's great about that show for me is that they actually film it the same way this movie was filmed. You see the racing and they just give you the highlights of the races. So I don't have to watch 72 laps. Right. Or, so for me, that documentary was like, oh, this is perfect. And they give it to you shortly after the season just ended. And so I was watching it and they're showing all these actual legit racers, Lewis Hamilton from Mercedes, all these people over Stafford, they're showing the Red Bull teams. I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh. And I'm even noticing the GMs and Toto was at the end. That's my boy from Mercedes. But anyway, so I'm like a third tier fanboy. So for me, them taking that element of how they shot it and then taking it to the next level with the cinematography and then just giving me that whole universe, everything on the big screen, and then giving me a super tight story with, like I said, have my cake and eat it too type of ending. It was phenomenal for me. So with that being said, let's go ahead and rate this thing. I'm interested to see where you guys are going to place it. So in true Critics Collective fashion, we give accolades here going from 0 to 5. 5 accolades being excellent, a must watch, highly recommended for all viewers. 4 accolades, good, worth watching, but has notable flaws. 3 accolades, average, some enjoyable moments, but lacks significant impact. 2 accolades, below average, some redeeming qualities, but generally disappointing. 1 accolade, poor quality, not recommended, or 0 accolades, horrible, absolute trash. Mayte, I'm going to start with you. How many accolades you giving us?
So despite what I said about the scenes, like I agree with you, it didn't take away from the film because it is long.
Mm-hmm.
It was just something me nitpicking, but I give it a 5. I would definitely watch this multiple times.
Mayte gave it a 5. Mayte gave it a 5. Corey, how many accolades you giving this one?
Giving it a 5.
Oh,
giving it a 5. I definitely like this movie.
Oh wow.
I'm trying to go see it again before it leaves IMAX.
Okay, yeah.
Because I don't think you could feel maybe the same effect if you just watched it on the standard screen. Yeah, 5.
Yeah, it was definitely shot well. Got you all immersed in. I'm giving it a 5 for the fact, the same reason you give it. The story was good. The way you shot it was great, but also me being that like third tier fanboy, I can't act like I'm top tier because then somebody call me out in the comments and then we'll get canceled. But I'm definitely still somewhat of a fanboy, at least as long as they keep showing the documentary. If that gets canceled, I'll probably fall off and never know what's going on because I'm like I said, I'm not watching 72 laps of racing. All right, so not doing it. All right, so if you guys like what we're doing so far, please make sure you support this page. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, turn on the alerts, join the collective community. And we have just given you guys F1, the movie, which is now in theaters. Get in those comments. Let us know what you thought about it. How many accolades you're going to give it. Let us know if you're a fan. Let me know if you guys are watching that documentary on Netflix. What's it called? Drive to Survive. Formula One, F1 Drive to Survive. I want to chat with people about that because I love that show. All right. So we are the Critics Collective. I am Legacy Lingo. I have Mayte here with me and Corey. And we will see you guys on the next one.